Aha. It's that time. And yes, I'm back. How is everybody doing today? Good morning. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm back from a very, very long weekend. And I wish I could talk more about it. It didn't go exactly as planned, but it was a good weekend. Lady Boomer and I had a great anniversary, and so we're all good. And that's all I'm going to say about it. I'll talk about it. We're actually got to go. We're going to go back. Well, I should say we. I'm going to go back to San Diego, and this time Lady Boomer's going to go with me. It's a long story. So we'll figure that out. But I want to talk about what's been missing over the last several days. Is this music super loud? What is going on here? Anyway, we'll get to that more after the intro. Johnny, we're back. Play the intro. Now.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
And that would be me. Stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. And welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel, where crashing waves and messed up schedules can sometimes change your entire life. But that's okay. I'm not going to get into it. I'm just not. I am back. And Lady Boomer and I, Saturday night, had a nice anniversary dinner, and so it's on and so forth. So I'm not even going to go into it. I would like to welcome you to the show. And I guess I'll just do that. Let's just start by saying hi and get into it, because I'm really late today. I know, and I'm just going to try to get back into this. Okay, I'll tell story time another day. I really will, maybe. Anyway, good morning. First over on Rumble, Avocados Diablo gets the bell, first bell of the week. Welcome, sir. I don't know what that was. What's the hell's going on here? Wow. Anyway, also good morning, Mike Savage and Tall Person. Also, thank you, Tall Person, for a sponsor of the day. With a deuce, dropping a deuce in the tip jar. I greatly appreciate it. Who says, Happy International Polar Bear Day. Well, I did not know it was International Polar Bear Day. I know the polar bear population has been bouncing back since that fateful movie back in, was it 2006? When did An Inconvenient Truth come out? Was that in 2005, 2006, something like that? And the polar bears were supposed to be all gone by now, and they were all dying. And actually, the polar bear population has grown quite a bit since that movie came out, because they were supposed to all die because the ice caps were melting and all that shit, and they wouldn't have any food and whatever. Anyway, happy International Polar Bear Day. Also, over on YouTube, oh good God, I didn't even hit the live chat. Well, we'll see if this works. Oh boy. Anyway, first over on YouTube is also Avocados Diablo, who gets the bell and no ominous music. I know you like the ominous music, but that's okay. And good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg, and Gunfox61. Oh, who's off to work already. Don Julio, Gulf City Biker and Trash Man's in the house. Dr. Funkenstein's Ghost is in the house. Chicago Mike is in the house. Good morning, Rotten Corpse. Good morning, Reacciona Puerto Rico. Fauci will say, I funded this group and they funded the CCP. I had no control over that. Wait for it. Of course he's going to say that. Good morning, Kay. Hello, Kay. Nice to see you in the chat. Also, HP Lovecraft is here. My favorite Canadian Jaeger pony is here. Tall person's over on that side of the ledger, too. The YouTube side. Good morning, fake news expert. New name for old friend. Also, good morning, too. Chicago. Oh, I said Chicago, Mike. Tyler F's in the house. Good morning. Attack Alpaca is here. Hello. Simon Wolfwood. And that's it. I got a feeling it's going to take some time for people to get back into the groove of being here in the morning. And so we'll just, we'll do what we do. Simon Wilson is also over on Rumble. I'm glad you're over there. And Rick Ashberger, good morning. What's happening? So people are slowly strolling in, and that's great. So I'm not going to talk about my trip. I got to see my mother, though. It was good to see my mother. And I got to hang out there for a few days and whatnot. So anyway, I wanted to get right into this today, though, because I'm kind of, wait, what? I totally read that wrong. And for a second, I thought you may be in China. Oh, no, I'm not in China. I don't know what that means. Or are you talking to somebody else? Oh, you're talking to Tyler F. We just found out that our second child is going to be a girl. Oh, congratulations. I'm going to be drowning in a sea of estrogen. She is due at the end of July. Well, don't drown because we need you to take care of that new baby. Congratulations again on your second child. In fact, oh, by the way, we got to see the granddaughter yesterday too. The granddaughter, my son was in town. That was cool. My daughter came over. My son came over. My mother-in-law came over, and we just had a nice little breakfast thing going on and hung out for a while. Wait, Fauci also got an indirect payment from Moderna, $400 million to his agency for vaccine patent. Oof. Well, how about that? The Fauci juice been very, very good to him. I say very, very good to him. Anyway, so before I get into the main topic, which is Dr. Fauci, I wanted to look at some of the things that are happening in the world. I went over the Explore page, and often you'll see people like David Hogg trending because he trends all the time. In fact, so oh gosh, David Hogg's talking about he's talking about the Second Amendment. He said, talked with a professor at Harvard yesterday about this. Can confirm. Well, what is he confirming? Oh, something Warren Burger said in 1990 about the Second Amendment. The gun lobby's interpretation of the Second Amendment is one of the greatest pieces of fraud. I repeat the word fraud on the American people by special interest groups that I've ever seen in my lifetime. That's Warren Burger. I thought Warren Burger died before that. The real purpose of the Second Amendment was to ensure that state armies, the militia, would be maintained for the defense of the state. The very language of the Second Amendment refutes any argument that is intended to guarantee every citizen an unfettered right to any kind of weapon he or she desires. Well, that's fascinating. That's fascinating. He pulls up that quote by Warren Burger. Oh, George Osei, what's up? Salute to you too. That's fascinating because, I think it's pretty clear what the words say in the Second Amendment. Now, granted, it has that little pre-clause thing that people always talk about. Oh, something militia, this and that, and yada, yada. However, there are words, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, what's fascinating about that phrase and about the first 10 amendments, why is that retard taken so seriously? He's not, I don't know if he's a celebrity near miss victim. And well, not that near, because he was in the general vicinity. But anyway, hello, Maddie. What's always been fascinating when people make this argument, the Bill of Rights of the United States Constitution, the first 10 amendments. This is what sometimes people refer to them as, because they say Amendment 1, Amendment 2, right? They call them the amendments. The Bill of Rights, the entire Bill of Rights, is things the government is restricted from, being the rights of the people. The government, the state, is not allowed to infringe upon for the individuals, the entire Bill of Rights. But a lot of people are trying to say, well, that the Second Amendment was not an individual right. But wait a minute. But why would they have this Bill of Rights that apply to the individual people that the state, the government, cannot infringe upon, but then have the second one, the first one, obviously, freedom of speech, religion, association, yada, yada. Why would they have one out of those 10 rights be different than all the rest? Why would it be ensure that the state, or a separate state, because the United States at the time, they considered each state to be its own, its own entity. Why would it be ensuring the right of the states when everything else in the first 10 amendments are individual rights? It makes no sense whatsoever. I don't know why they think that. And it's clear, granted, now the first part, to ensure that the people, or the states, the militia was everybody. Every adult male, 16 to 60, was the militia, so to speak. So basically every voting person or individual was the one was allowed, was the purpose of the Second Amendment. So it just didn't make any sense. So anyway, he's on this binge of telling people that they're not allowed. Americans have no right to own a gun. It's saying individuals have no rights to have a gun. Context clues: they live in a time when the king tried to disarm them so they could be easily put down. They just won a war via privately armed citizens. Did more than a formal army. Yes. Does it stop putting your finger in the socket? So definitely more useful. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Well-regulated is an adjective modifying a noun. Shall not be infringed is command. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just, I get tired of even having this argument or hearing this argument. So it's just wild. So, thank you. First Streamlabs donation today, which makes Maddie
You are
the new Streamlabs superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, Maddie, for sponsoring the show. Dropping a 5 in the tip jar. Who says the Second Amendment is straightforward. It's just that it doesn't say what gun control people want it to say, so they make shit up. Yeah. I'll give you that. Thank you for sponsoring the show. So anyway, holy smokes. Whether you agree with David Hogg or not, I guess you can see what I'm putting on the screen here. Whether you agree with David Hogg or not about gun control or not, this meme he posted is historically accurate. My husband and I have guns, and we're both history nuts. So we've discussed this topic more than once. The NRA routinely lies. Second Amendment isn't what they say it's about. Well, if you own guns, then why do you own guns then? You shouldn't own guns. This is a stupid meme. And I'm sorry. I disagree with the former Chief Justice of the United States of America on this. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The modifier at the beginning doesn't mean anything. I mean, sure, it ensures that the militia have whatever, but it's just driving me nuts. Anyway, good morning, James Colley. Good morning, Aaron Meredith. Good morning, Shrapnel. Nice to see you guys. So anyway, that's David Hogg's trending again. He's a little weasel, pissant fucker. I'm trying not to say it too loud. Oh, by the way, I got another video. What did they do? YouTube, my number, episode 27. Okay, and that'll help put this in perspective. Episode 27 of the Morning Night Live is now age restricted. Remember, we're on episode 1008, episode 27, an episode from 4 years ago this week has been age restricted by YouTube. I got a notification over the weekend by email, and I went to go look and see, okay, what was episode 27, which happens to be almost exactly 4 years ago, right? And so I went back to look at what episode it was. And I'm going to show you. I should show you. And and maybe you guys can go back and watch this episode. One of my favorite topics on the Morning Night Live back then, because it was just one of those things that it was one of the things that popped up during my first month of doing the show. It was great. Good morning, Nomad. How you doing?
Stop. Hammer time.
Let me see if I can find it here. Where the hell is it? Wait, what? Where is it? I just watched it. It should be on here as a recent video. It should be in my history. Oh, here it is. Here's the episode. And I'm going to pause it for a second. In fact, So here's episode 27 of the Morning Night Live. Guess what I was talking about? Wait, where is it? Network. No. Well, we'll just do it full. It was my Jussie. He wrote me a letter. This was a episode where I was talking about Jussie Smollett. This is not long after Jussie Smollett did his after Jussie Smollett was viciously attacked by two men who yelled, "This is MAGA country." Well, and so there was a letter that he wrote himself, we think, maybe. In fact, I'm almost confident after seeing this that he made this bullshit up himself, where he sent himself a hate mail letter. And I think the reason this particular video got age restricted is because there's a word that sometimes described a gay black male, the gay part being more important than anything on the planet, that apparently you might not be able to use on YouTube. Now, I was a news event, and I only read it, I think, twice during the show, but they restricted a 99-minute video, age restricted 99-minute video over a single word. I believe. I think that's what happened. Okay, so I don't know. Oh, they actually yelled, "This is Jersey Mike's country." Oh, yeah, or Jersey Mike. I was thinking Potbelly, but it could be Jersey Mike. It was Jersey Mike country. Anyway, so I went back and watched the entire episode just for nostalgic purposes, and I'm like, oh man, my show improved a lot from the first episode to the 27th episode. But anyway, I looked back to also who was in the chat. I mean, Sarah was there, Diesel Dave, Hate Camel, Tarai Deos. A lot of people are still here. Max Del Rio, did I say Tarkata? Hasn't been back for a while. It was interesting. But Chicago Mike, you were watching this episode. You've been here the whole 4 years. That's awesome. And I have to really go down the line here because people showed up later. Let's see who else showed up here. Cynical Lindsay, who is still around. Maniac Man still comes around once in a while. Captain Brambles. Brian Mullins. Haven't seen Brian Mullins Fox in a long time, but I think Brian changed his name, so I'm not sure. But anyway, I just thought that was fascinating. Go back and see that. I'll leave this episode up, though. If you can go through it and figure out why this episode might have been age restricted by YouTube, I went back and read all the rules from YouTube. It really didn't make any sense. I don't even remember what my name was 4 years ago. It's good. That's a good thing. Penn Station for supremacy. Oh, goodness me. Anyway, I thought that was cool. I still had a really thick goatee or something like that. I don't know what they called that beard. Anyway. All right. Let's, should we get into some stuff that's probably more important or other things that are happening? Because I'm limited for time. I was here at the beginning. Were you? That's awesome. You were around a long time ago. Yes, you were. So anyway, yeah, David Hogg's trending because, well, David Hogg. By the way, real quick, thank you, people who tweeted the show out. Man Squatch, Tall Person, Tyler F., Mike Savage. I appreciate all of you for doing that. Please share the stream. John Magda. Oh my gosh, there's another person who was here a long time. It's been around a long time. It's good to see you though in the chat. As you can tell, I'm kind of rambling today. I'm off my game a little bit today. I'm a little off my game. So just bear with me. Other things that are trending though right now, Trayvon Martin is trending. And every time I'm always fascinated when I see Trayvon Martin trending, because I'm pretty sure that it's some anniversary either of when I can't remember when exactly his deal happened, but yes, bundle of sticks, James Colley. That's exactly. Oh, now what's in the house? Good morning. Coming to you from Seattle, where a single inch of snow and a common sense political thought both shut the entire city down. Yeah, we got about a couple feet of snow. I was very fortunate while I was gone. The neighbor kid across the street shoveled my driveway twice. I saw him on the ring bell a couple times. So yeah, that was kind of cool. And so I appreciate it. So anyway, let me get back to what I was talking about. So Trayvon Martin is trending. Okay. Now let's see. Now what is it? 11 years. Okay. It was 11 years ago today. Wow. It's been that long. 11 years ago today, Trayvon Martin was killed by George Zimmerman. Now, this is interesting. This is the Martin Luther King Center. And it's almost as though no one actually watched that trial either. Games Lames, how you doing? New name. I find it funny how they were claiming it was a big conspiracy theory. But now they're all of a sudden like, yeah, you were likely right. I'm getting to that. I will get to that soon. I promise. Games Lames. And welcome. That's a new name in the show. I appreciate it. And also, thank you, John Migda, dropping a small bullet in the tip jar. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Wait, did I miss a super chat earlier? James Collin, ask Dave who made up the militia. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I am curious. Ask Dave who made up the militia. David Hogg. Yeah, the militia was, like I said, it was all everyone 16 to 60, I guess, and it was just the people were the militia, and it was so that if they needed to create a militia to call up somebody, they could do it quickly or whatever. But still, it doesn't matter. The right of the people to keep and bear arms. And all right, so really quick, thank you, John Migda, with the small bullet, who said that is called a nut scratcher. Okay, wait a minute. Wait. Well, I'm confused. It must have been something I was talking about earlier. A nut scratcher. Something is that something to do with Jesse Smollett? I don't know. I'm confused. Anyway, thank you for sponsoring the show. Also, Chicago Mike with a Big 10 spot, who says, Marty, I enjoy watching your show. However, my schedule is subject to change. I may get earlier hours at work. I'm glad I've been here since the beginning. Thanks, Peter. With Mike, thank you. And you've always been awesome to me. And you were here within the first week of when I did the show. I know you were here. Obviously, you were here during the Jesse Smollett saga, and I greatly appreciate you, man. And I'll see you in the chat or comments or whatever, or if I do stuff in the evening, I know you'll pop in. So I appreciate you very much. All right, let's see here. The goatee, yeah, how about that? So, and also Jay Pylon's in the house. All right, back to Trayvon Martin. So, the Martin Luther King Center wrote this tweet. 11 years ago today, Trayvon Martin was killed by George Zimmerman for being black in the wrong place and at the wrong time. That's interesting. I don't think so. That's not why he was killed. Trayvon, a 17-year-old child. Have they ever described... It's always funny how they'll describe him as a child, because we get these pictures from when he was 13 years old always, and that's weird. Criminalized and dehumanized. By who? He was unjustly killed and unfairly labeled as a problem child by those. Let's see the thread here. Let's read the thread. This is interesting. By those who wanted to justify his murder. No. See, look. We know why Trayvon was living there instead of with his family. Okay? That's not... He wasn't 200 pounds, by the way. No, he wasn't 200 pounds. But he was taller than George Zimmerman. He was 5'11", and I believe I think he was like 170 pounds, 180 pounds. I don't know. He's a football player. He was a high school football player, but when he was 17. And the only MMA is he happened to get George Zimmerman on his back, and the witness said that he was pounding him, into the ground. And there's some evidence to believe that was true, because George Zimmerman had lacerations in the back of his head. He had a broken nose, and he is, consistent with his head being bashed into the sidewalk. Okay. So that was the evidence in the trial. That I can only go by the evidence in the trial. We could speculate what George Zimmerman should have been doing, or what it could have been doing, or should he have left with the police, told him to, and yada yada yada, right? But I can only go by the trial. That's the evidence. Okay. Should Trayvon Martin be dead? No, absolutely not. I mourn for his family that he died in such a dumb way. And I don't know. The trial, the only witness said that there was one on top of the other punching him into the ground, which was described what George Zimmerman described. But the idea who wanted to justify his murder, no, nobody wanted to justify anything. We remember Trayvon, his family, and the people who mourn his death. He should be 28 years old today and living a life of his own choosing. You know what? Guess what? I agree 100% that he should be 28 years old today and living a life of his own choosing, instead of, what seems to be from the trial, him attacking someone who followed him or looked at him wrong. So it's interesting. But here's what always drives me crazy. So they always show the pictures of when he was 13 years old. They almost never show pictures of when he was 17 years old, when he died. Why? Because a lot of the 17-year-old pictures are more like this, him taking pictures of himself flipping off cameras or things like that. And obviously much bigger than the 13-year-old picture, the cherub-faced young 13-year-old that they keep putting up, like this one. Or, of course, now here it is. Here's George Zimmerman. Trayvon Martin. Okay, this is someone saying Trayvon Martin sought out and attacked Zimmerman, who defended himself. There was no racial profiling. As I said, Martin sought out Zimmerman. In fact, and a lot of people look at that doctored 911 call where NBC News basically inflamed it by editing the 911 call to saying, he's black. No, the dispatcher asked him, described him, and he didn't. He described him, to this ex-tall, whatever, wearing a hoodie, whatever, and then the dispatcher asked another question about, what was his race, and he said, he as an afterthought, he's black, but that was edited out to be, he's this kid and he's black. So that's always interesting. But yeah, there's pictures of Zimmerman. Immediately after this happened, but they always show the picture of him as a cherub-faced just a young child. Trayvon Martin was murdered 11 years ago today by George Zimmerman. Doing the baby face pictures. Again, everyone puts up the baby face pictures. Everyone puts up the baby face pictures. Not pictures of when he was 17. And muscular. Oh, now we got a baby picture. Trayvon Martin didn't do anything. Yeah, see, so it's, but, and I hate, here's what I hate about this. Okay, here's moms demand action. 11 years ago, 17-year-old Trayvon Martin was pursued, shot, and killed by an armed vigilante while walking home from a Florida convenience store. That's how Moms Demand, the anti-gun group, describes it. Really? Did y'all watch The Child? This is even more inflammatory. Everyone wants to inflame everybody on this instead of just going, we saw the trial. This is a tragedy. The kid maybe shouldn't have attacked somebody who was following him. No. Here's how they wrote it. 11 years ago, 17-year-old Trayvon Martin was pursued, shot, and killed by an armed vigilante while walking home from a Florida convenience store. That leaves out a lot. If you ask me, that leaves out a lot. Trayvon's family will never receive justice in part due to Florida's shoot first law, which essentially makes murder legal? Is that what happened? Is there anything in the trial that makes you think that's what happened? Shoot first law? What does that mean? Here, they continue. Trayvon was a child and should be alive today. He's a child at 17 if it fits your narrative. Do you call Kyle Rittenhouse a child? Funny, I've never heard him described as a child. He should have celebrated his 28th birthday this month. He should have graduated from high school and pursued his dream of becoming a pilot. What? What? That's the first time I've heard that one. That could be. I don't care. If that's what his parents say, fine. Instead, his future stolen by a man emboldened by racist gun laws. Really? Racist gun laws? Our hearts are with Trayvon's loved ones. They mourn 11 years without him. We will honor Trayvon and all whose lives have been stolen in this senseless way. Now someone replies by saying, 11 years ago, George Zimmerman was attacked and brutally beaten by a high school 6-foot, 17-year-old thug. Well, I don't want to call him a thug. I get tired of that language too. I don't want to. I get tired of both sides demonizing someone. Yes, the kid made a stupid lack of frontal lobe development decision to attack a guy for following him while walking in a neighborhood. Fortunately, George Zimmerman was armed, and Florida's shoot first law. There is no shoot first law. This was self-defense. Self-defense is not shoot first. If you're on the ground and someone's beating you in your head into the pavement, and somehow your gun ends up going off because you're getting your head beaten into the pavement, that's self-defense. That's not even a shoot first law. And there is no shoot first law. What? Someone tell me the shoot first law. Maybe I have to look that up. Otherwise, his family would be the ones seeking justice. Fixed it for you. But there is no shoot first law. Trayvon was larger than the victim he attacked and started the fight. Had his parents oh my God. Had his parents raised him better, he wouldn't have gone around looking for a fight. Well, he wasn't looking for a fight either. He just didn't like that this guy was following him. Good God. I'm not a George Zimmerman fan, but it was clearly evidence in the trial that George's actions were self-defense. I'm going to leave it at that one. I'll leave the thread here if you want to read some nonsense today. It goes, in some ways it goes both ways, but holy shit. I know that, the reason he was living where he was living is because he was getting in trouble at his old school. Now, is that a reason for him to be dead? Absolutely not. Is that a reason to vilify him? No, lots of kids get in trouble. But he didn't need to attack somebody for asking a question. I wouldn't call him a thug if this was his only issue. He had repeated issues with the law. Trying to avoid such accurate description is part of the problem. Excusing this behavior as okay. I don't excuse his behavior at all. There's a reason he was living there instead of his prior home, why he was kicked out of his other school. So anyway, it's just maddening. And the problem is, you have to respond to the bullshit, but I get tired of responding to the bullshit. Now, speaking of bullshit, let's talk about our main topic of the day. A Wall Street Journal article yesterday, which states this not a new premise, because states something that we probably have known for a long ass time. Before I click it, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite. Nice to see you in the chat.
That's right.
Black Hebrew Israelite says, 3 years of lies, corruption of our trusted institution, and lockdowns, the government admitted that the Wu-Tang flu actually came from the China biolab that was known within the first 2 months of the outbreak. Let me be the first to say no shit. Well, there you go, Black Hebrew Israelite. That's where we're going next. Woohoo! And John, thank you for another small bullet in the tip jar saying the shoot first law goes pew pew shooty. Okay, thank you guys so far joining me today. And Maddie, you're still at the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor today. Let's talk about this Wall Street Journal article that all I can say is, duh. Lab leak, most likely origin of COVID-19 pandemic. Energy Department now says. Now, YouTube, I'm reading a Wall Street Journal article that is clearly a approved source of news for these people at YouTube. So I don't know. I'm just going by what the Wall Street Journal is saying here, and we're going to read the article. And I'm going to have to use code words probably throughout this because they're jackholes at YouTube. So anyway, but one of the biggest does of the year, which shocker, the U.S. Energy Department has concluded that the stupid 19 pandemonium most likely arose from a laboratory leak, according to a classified intelligence report recently provided to the White House by key members of Congress. Now, I don't understand why the Energy Department is the one telling us this. So that's curious. Curiouser and curiouser. The shift by the Energy Department, which previously was undecided on how the virus emerged, is noted in an update to a 2021 document by the Director of National Intelligence, Avril Haines' office. The new report highlights how different parts of the intelligence community have arrived at disparate judgments about the pandemonium's origin. The Energy Department now joins the Federal Bureau of Investigation in saying the virus likely spread via a mishap at a Chinese laboratory. 4 other agencies, along with a national intelligence panel, still judged that it was likely the result of a natural transmission, and 2 are undecided. So I'm curious how the Energy Department got in their little fingers into the pot here. But that's an interesting hypothesis or conclusion or whatever you want to decide this is. Here's the next line. The Energy Department's conclusion is the result of new intelligence. Yeah, as if they ever had intelligence in any of the government agencies, and is significant because the agency has considerable scientific expertise and oversees a network of U.S. national laboratories, some of which conduct advanced biological research. The Energy Department made its judgment with low confidence. Well, that's reassuring. Low confidence, according to people who have read the classified report. The FBI previously came to the conclusion that the pandemonium was likely the result of a lab leak in 2021 with moderate confidence. So we have low confidence and moderate confidence, and still holds this view. So most people are just saying, duh, no, duh. So now Biden's national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, where does he hold? Obama holdover, or well, minus 4 years, is downplaying the report that the leak came from the lab. He says there will be, wait a minute. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said that the administration has privately communicated to communist China that there will be consequences if they provide weapons for Russia to use its war against Ukraine. During that interview, Sullivan also downplayed a new U.S. intelligence report that concluded that the stupid 19 pandemic likely originated in the Chinese lab.
China is asshole.
Sullivan made that remark during a Sunday interview with This Is CNN's co-host Dana Bash on the network's State of the Union. Quote, "We will continue." I don't care about Russia right now. I'm talking about, wait a minute, but where is the one part I want to talk about? Oh, wait. "We will continue to send a strong message that we believe that sending military aid to Russia at this time." Okay, I don't care. I want to hear about the report. Oh, he was also asked about a report that appeared in the Wall Street Journal on Sunday that said the classified intelligence report from the Department of Energy concluded that the stupid 19 likely came from a Chinese lab leak. Quote, this is Dana Bash asking, "Did the coronavirus pandemic start in a lab? Is that what you believe now?" Quote, Jake Sullivan. Well, here, one of the things in that Wall Street Journal report, which I can't confirm or deny, but I will say the reference to the Department of Energy, President Biden specifically requested that the national labs, which are part of the Department of Energy, be brought into this assessment because he wants to put every tool at use to be able to figure out what happened here. We must figure out what happened here. Very good, Jake Sullivan. And if we gain any further insight or information, we will share it with Congress and we will share it with the American people. But right now, there is not a definitive answer, and that has been emerged from the intelligence community on this question. So he's hamming it on. Let's put it that way. So anyway, people are talking about this. Yes. Oh wait, is this the right one? No, I don't need this. I'm going to skip this. We don't need that open. Oh, well, for fuck's sake, why is this here? This is not what I had open. Nope, that's the notifications. Now, people are curious. This is Representative Byron Donalds from Florida, who says the mainstream media, the left, and their hero, Fauci, dismissed, mocked, and censored Republicans. Guess what? They got it wrong again. When will they learn? Now, again, this is one report from one agency. Not all the agencies are agreeing. They don't know what they're talking about. And this is low confidence, but the FBI's moderate confidence. And nobody has high confidence because nobody knows what the hell he's talking about. Hello, Tex AG. 007. And Lord Stanhope. So guess what? They got it wrong. When will they learn? So he put up this little photo here. Anthony Fauci just crushed Donald Trump's theory on the origins of the coronavirus. Oh, this is an article by Chris Cillizza. He doesn't work at CNN anymore. Didn't he get fired? Because he's a dumbass. Anyway, let's see. For weeks now, President Donald Trump has been making the case that the coronavirus originated not in nature, but in a lab in Wuhan, China.
China is asshole.
He said late last week that he had a high degree of confidence that was what happened. although he didn't specify why he felt that way, and on Sunday night in a Fox town hall offered cryptically, something happened. Enter Anthony Fauci, the head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, and perhaps the single most prominent doctor in the world at the moment. Who really doesn't do much work in the labs anymore. In an interview with National Geographic posted on Monday night, Fauci was definitive about the origins of the virus, which has sickened more than 1 million Americans and killed more than 68,000. This is back on May 5th, 2020. If you look at the evolution of the virus in bats and what's out there now, the scientific evidence is very, very strongly leading towards this could not have been artificially or deliberately manipulated. Everything about the stepwise evolution over time strongly indicates that the virus evolved in nature and then jumped species. Now, there's something funny about this, because this is back when Fauci was telling bullshit. Oh, by the way, he put this other one up here, too. Senator Tom, and this is the New York Times, Senator Tom Cotton repeats fringe theory of coronavirus origins. Science have dismissed suggestions that the Chinese government was behind the outbreak, but it's the kind of tale that gains traction among those who see China as a threat. Ooh. So anyway, they mocked anyone. By the way, hello TC, hello Kessler. They mocked anyone who thought, oh yeah, this is kind of weird that they say this was in the wet market thing and all that. And holy smokes. Oh no, they didn't get it wrong. Also, they're never going to let you in the front door. They'll tolerate. Oh my God, this is racist motherfucker. This is a racist motherfucker right here. Byron Donalds is a black man. He's a black Republican congressman from Florida. And listen to this. Now, this is how racist white people talk to Republicans. Okay. And yes, there are some racists out there. I'm just saying that's okay. Here it says, no. Oh my God. Whoever did that, you're hilarious. No, they didn't get it wrong. Also, they are never going to let you in the front door. They'll tolerate that black guy, but you are never entering through the front door. Wow. That's kind of racist, especially since this is a elected representative from the district in the state of Florida. Clearly, they let him in the front door, you moron. What kind of racist shit is that? Wow. That's just some incredibly racist shit. This is funny. They brainwashed you. Really? Okay. Anyway, that's amazing. Oh my God. Somehow he got to the doors of Congress and he's, oh my God, some people's children. Anyway, now here's a couple, because a lot of people are saying, oh wait, let's go to Ed Krasinski. What's his name? Krasenstein? Because I'm on this Ed Krasenstein kick. I'm trying to figure out the word. So Ed Krasenstein. Oh, thank you. By the way, whoever did this, I am really, really, really trying not to hate you on this. Thank you for sponsoring the show, though. And by the way, I do have my cup of Reparations coffee in my new surfing cup. I went to the California Surfing Museum. Is that what it's called? California Surf Museum. It was really, really interesting, and I'll tell you about it some other time. Anyway, thank you, Kurt Eichenwald, who says, remember to close those hentai tabs. Yeah, I don't have hentai tabs. Sorry. I don't. Those are just other Twitter tabs. Thank you very much for sponsoring the show. Kurt Eichenwald, who probably Oh, in fact, Kurt Eichenwald, John, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, God. So anyway, this little pissant who I'm starting to get annoyed with because he and his brother are on propaganda like cocaine right now. They're just constantly popping it out. So he says, if you're attacking Dr. Anthony Fauci after the Energy Department said they have with a low confidence belief that COVID originated in a Wuhan lab and then was released via a lab leak, then you just don't know the facts. Dr. Fauci specifically said, I have a completely open mind regarding the origins of COVID. The opinion of many scientists have changed over the past 2 years, and most agencies still believe the virus spread naturally. Okay, let me just, this is hilarious because this little line here where Dr. Fauci specifically said, I have a completely open mind regarding the origins of COVID. Can anyone in the chat tell me when he said this? Because I know exactly when he said it. And you'll answer in the chat by the time I've already said this. He said that in November of 2022, that he has a completely open mind regarding the origins of COVID. Now that's hilarious, and it's funny because he look how now you have that selectively edited issue that they like to talk about all the time. Let's watch his selectively edited clip.
Where are you on this now? I mean, everybody's always curious. Where is Fauci on the lab leak thing?
I have a completely open mind about that, despite people saying that I don't. I have a totally open mind about that.
So this was in November of 2022. I have a completely open mind about that. Dr. Fauci, in this article that Chris Salissa said, you just crushed Trump's theory. If you look at the evolution of the virus in bats and what's out there now, the scientific evidence is very, very strongly leading towards this could not have been artificially or deliberately manipulated. Everything about this stepwise evolution over time strongly indicates the virus evolved in nature and then jumped species. Yeah, he was in wet market theory right there, right? And even this interview. Oh, I'm completely open. Yeah, when he was about to retire in November of 2022. So anyway, let's talk about his openness towards this theory, because believe me, there's plenty of video of Dr. Fauci talking about it. Here's one when let's see, April 2020, after it was determined that the virus did not originate from one of them, the wet markets. And yet, for 2 years, Fauci pushed the wet market theory and shot down anyone who suggested the virus leaked from a lab. So here's Dr. Fauci, who is completely open to the idea that may have leaked from the Wuhan lab. Here's Dr. Fauci in his own words.
I have always said that the high likelihood is that this is a natural occurrence, that the NIH has not ever and does not now fund gain of function research in the Wuhan Institute.
That the most likely origin is a natural origin from an animal reservoir to human.
I still think the most likely etiology of this pathogen in Wuhan was from a laboratory.
So Dr. Redfield was mentioning that he was giving an opinion as to a possibility. But again, there are other alternatives, others that most people hold by.
This morning, Dr. Anthony Fauci is shooting down theories that the coronavirus was man-made.
Where did this virus come from, do you think, today? Did it come from a lab? Was it man-made?
And you have animals that come out of the wild that are sold at these open, what they call them, wet markets.
I think they should shut down those things right away. I mean, because what we're going through right now is a direct result of that.
The mutations that it took to get to the point where it is now is totally consistent with a jump of a species from an animal to a human. Now is totally consistent with a jump of a species from an animal to a human.
Let me finish.
You take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans.
Right.
You're saying that's not gain of function?
Yeah, that is correct. And Senator Paul, you do not know what you are talking about, quite frankly. And I want to say that officially.
So anyway, over and over and over and over, he was saying, no, it was not from the lab, not from this. And in fact, here he is. This is a C-SPAN also. Let's see what he says in this one.
After 675 years, we finally have found the origins of the Black Plague. Care to give us an update on where we're at on tracking down the origins of COVID-19?
Thank you for that question, Senator. There have been a number of papers that have come out from highly qualified virologists and viral phylogeneticists that indicate that this is very, very likely a jumping species from an animal host, perhaps through an intermediate host, into a human species, which then spread throughout the human population, certainly and almost certainly originating in China, in Wuhan. We still open up and keep always an open mind as to whether or not this had to do with a virus that was isolated out in the environment and that came into a lab and then had what most people refer to as a lab leak. I believe that is less likely that that's the case, but I also believe
he was open to it.
We need to keep an open mind and have all possibilities be investigated. But the evidence from the virology community points strongly towards a natural occurrence.
Very quickly, do you think the Chinese will cooperate with you?
All right,
to
so
try to
that's the part I wanted to see. So, pretty consistently though, he's he doesn't like the idea that it might have leaked from the lab. That, of course, this is the lab that supposedly they weren't funding at all, even though the American lab that they were funded that other lab in China.
China is asshole.
So anyway, thank you, ambiguously gay duo, who says the Krasteen brothers are gayer than we are. Well, I see. You said the ambiguously gay duo. The ambiguously gay duo, the Krasteen brothers are gayer than the ambiguously gay duo. I was trying to say, because when you say we, what's this we shit? And anyway, thank you, ambiguously gay duo, who is still the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor today because, well, we know who you really are. Okay, now what's also interesting about this is Facebook. Now, everyone knows Facebook does not allow any kind of misinformation or disinformation or malinformation, or in fact, they don't allow any information if it doesn't fit Facebook's political narratives. But fairly, Facebook is letting go a little bit. Facebook is no longer treating man-made COVID as a crackpot idea. Facebook will no longer take down posts claiming that COVID-19 was man-made or manufactured when a company spokesman told Politico on Wednesday, a move that acknowledges the renewed debate about the virus's origin. Well, very good, Facebook. The narrative in flux, Facebook's policy tweak arrives as support surges in Washington for a fuller investigation into the origins of the stupid 19 after the Wall Street Journal reported that 3 scientists at the Wuhan Institute of Virology were hospitalized in late 2019 with symptoms consistent with the virus. Now, wait a minute. This is hilarious too. So they're saying that, because I didn't read the rest of the Wall Street Journal article. So they reported that 3 scientists at the Wuhan Institute of Virology were hospitalized in late 2019 with symptoms consistent with the virus. Do you know that we've known that since day one? In fact, the one scientist who basically was did videos from his deathbed and then died from it was from the lab. We've known this since the beginning. They've known this from the beginning, that there were scientists at that Wuhan lab who were among the first to die or have the illness. One of them died. We've known this from the very beginning. So how are they? Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Anyway, let's see. Now, the findings have reinvigorated the debate about the so-called Wuhan lab leak theory, once dismissed as a fringe conspiracy theory by Anthony Fauci. President Joe Biden said Wednesday he has ordered all the intelligence agencies to redouble its efforts to find out the virus's origin and report back in 90 days. Oh, well, yes, you all get this done in 90 days and I bet miraculously they will because, it's way beyond that one time when people go and put marks on who they want to be their leaders. You know what I mean? Just, you know what I'm saying, don't you? You catch that? Biden also revealed that the intelligence community is split between the two theories about Stupid 19's origin and said the review will examine whether it emerged from human contact with an infected animal or from a laboratory accident. Bipartisan support is also building on Capitol Hill for a congressional inquiry. Oh, yippee! But the focus of late has been on the nation that the virus may have accidentally escaped from the lab, not that it was man-made or purposely released. Theories that could now propagate on Facebook. Oh no! Genetic studies of the virus have found flaws in the protein it uses to bind to human cells. Those are features that someone trying to engineer a bioweapon likely would have avoided. Oh, so they're trying to take bioweapon out the paint. So anyway, in other words, social media is going to stop, fucking with you for saying stuff about Stupid 19. I wonder if they'll retroactively reinstate some videos of mine from back during the time that weren't illegal until about, a year ago when I actually got a strike for one of those videos that was like a year old or 2 years old, and then they took it off. But you know what? Maybe, just maybe, they need to reinstate those videos. I'm saying. Let's see. Gunfox had left me this article about Joy Behar going off over the weekend. Hello, Jimmy Das Hotep. Apparently Joy Behar said something stupid. Oh, she points finger at East Palestine residents after train derailment fallout. So this is one from Gunfox. I'll do this one real quick, and then I'll get into the last thing I want to talk about, which I only had really two main subjects today, and this is not one of them. I'll go through this one quickly, though. Joy Behar points finger at East Palestine residents after train derailment fallout, says they shouldn't have voted for Trump. She's blaming, oh my God, what a bitch. Did I say that out loud? Joy Behar pointed the finger at East Palestine residents as community deals with the fallout of the Ohio train accident, or derailment. Radar Online has learned, suggesting they should not have cast their votes for Donald Trump. I don't know why they ever would vote for him. Somebody who, by the way, he placed someone with deep ties to the chemical industry in charge of the EPA's Chemical Safety Office, she declared during a Thursday broadcast of The View, looking directly at the camera as she called out residents. That's who you voted for in that district. Now, the audience audibly gasped. Gasp could be heard in the audience as she spoke plainly. Donald Trump, who reduces all safety, Behar continued. Wow, Donald Trump is so far up in her. Never mind. Anyway, East Palestine residents need to look past the photo op she went on, likely referring to Trump's visit to the town on Wednesday, and see who is doing the job here. She was describing how Trump's administration withdrew an Obama-era proposal to require faster brakes on trains carrying highly flammable materials and to end regular rail safety audits of railroads, as explored in a recent report shared by Politico. Now, what's funny about that is that law would not have changed the brakes on this train because it was not the type of train classified to be required to have EMT, something electronically... something pneumatic brakes, ECPs, electronically controlled pneumatics. This train would not have been required to have those brakes under that particular proposed legislation, because it wasn't actually a law, it was proposed legislation, and this train wouldn't have had to have them anyway. So it would have made no difference whatsoever. But they want to say, oh, Trump withdrew the law. that required this train to have a certain types of brakes, and that's why the train crashed.
Why the fuck you lying?
Prior to her remarks, Behar went into detail about the environmental disaster residents are facing after the February 3rd derailment, following which there was a controlled release of toxic materials. You mean they set the shit on fire? Locals have reported health issues and feeling unwell, while fish and wildlife have been dying. In fact, Mary Mertz, the director of the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, shared a shocking revelation during a virtual press conference, claiming the chemical spill likely killed over 43,700 aquatic animals. Nothing to see here, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing to see here. Oh, take it easy, Games Lames. Heading out to have a good stream. P-Dog Night, by the way. You knew me as Melly. Oh, Melly. Hi, Melly. You changed your name again. Gotcha. See you, folks. Have a good one. Melly D's in the house, a.k.a. Games Lames. Okay. Behar noted that Trump came to town and blasted the Biden administration response to the incident, explaining how the White House responded shortly after claiming Trump's rail safety rollbacks caused it, but they didn't cause it. See, because that train wouldn't have had those brakes anyway, because that wasn't part of the legislation that was proposed to the Department of Transportation. Excuse me, the regulation proposed to the Department of Transportation. Anyway, so I usually don't cover The View, but, every once in a while, they say something so incredibly stupid that you have to. All right, now, the only thing I want to finish with here, and maybe I'll talk about this a lot more tomorrow because I don't have a lot of time left. So when I was gone, apparently Saturday, apparently there was supposed to be a significant day on Saturday known as the National Day of Hate. Now, I did not hear about this. You would think that if there were people out there, hate groups, getting ready to celebrate a National Day of Hate, and in fact, it was supposed to be aimed at our Jewish brothers and sisters. And normally I would go, okay, if there's some idiots out there planning some stupid National Day of Hate, I'd be like, you fucking idiots, you're idiots, you're dumbasses, nobody likes you, and you smell funny, right? But And normally, too, I'd get wind of it because I spend my time scouring news and looking at shit and trying to figure out what's happening, whatever. And, but I didn't really hear about this until Friday because some of these Twitter nitwits were tweeting about it because that's what the Twitter nitwits, the paid Twitter nitwits like the Krasensteins and Brooklyn Dad, whatever, Defiant and Jeff Tiedrick and all these paid Twitter nitwits do. They tweet stuff and then say, well, why aren't Republicans denouncing it? In fact, here's an example of one of those tweets, okay? Here it is. This is Jeff Tiedrick. Now, this is from the 26th. This is yesterday, so this is post facto. But here it is, Jeff Tiedrick saying, now this is amazing. Congratulations to the literally zero Republicans who stood up to denounce the white supremacist Day of Hate. Take a victory lap, you spineless fucking cowards. Now, I was kind of laughing to myself because I didn't see anything happening that day. I saw one video the entire day. So this is supposedly the National Day of Hate, right? I saw one video, and I don't even know if it was a video from Saturday, but it was one video of two guys in a street corner, supposedly in Florida, with bullhorns yelling shit at people that, stupid shit, that anti-Semitic, whatever, something this, Jews that, whatever. Assholes. Two assholes on a corner that people were videotaping as if this was a 30,000, person rally in a stadium or something like that. It wasn't. Two guys on a street corner yelling shit out of bullhorns and being assholes, okay? That was the National Day of Hate that they were talking about. And I'm like, is this what they're talking about? Is this what I'm supposed to be denouncing? Yeah, those two guys are assholes, okay? Now, where are all these people on this National Day of Hate? I thought for sure you'd see something, right? So, wait, before I move on, thank you, Chicago Mike, for sponsoring the show again. And, okay, thank you, Chicago Mike. From Streamlabs, dropping a big bullet in, says, today's show is brought to you by Joy Behar and The View. It's because they provide so much content for us to make fun of, by the stupidity of what they say. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Of course, you are right, because Chicago Mike is rarely wrong. So anyway, so back to this National Day of Hate. So then I checked out this article in Newsweek. And I'm thinking to myself, where exactly were these people? National Day of Hate sparks rallying cries online as neo-Nazis denounced. Oh, how brave of all these people denouncing neo-Nazis. But first of all, where are they? Where? Because they didn't show up for their own National Day of whatever they said is national of, right? Tall Person says, I do not recognize the National Day of Hate. Because, yeah, see, Tall Person is the purveyor of, international this day and national that day and world this day and whatever that day, and didn't even tell us about National Day of Hate. I'm very disappointed, but maybe because you don't recognize it, that makes sense. So anyway, they have this. This is crazy. So this is Newsweek, which should be spelled Newsweek, W-E-A-K, because everything they do is pretty weak. Gerald Kanyawanga saying that National Day of Hate sparks rallying cry. Okay, so let me see. It's a 51-second video. Now, I'm curious what this is going to be because I haven't watched it, but let's see if it has an ad. Neo-Nazi groups across the U.S. are planning a National Day of Hate. Really? Are they? Haven't seen any of them. Against Jewish communities on February 25th. The NYPD has leaked a memo from online organizers. Oh, we'll have to check out that memo. Instructing members to drop banners and flyers and scribble graffiti. Now, this is interesting, too, because some of these photos they use were from people from lefties who were trolling Republican events. But I'll leave that, not tell you. Thank you, Chicago Mike, who says, I'm really wrong. Tell that to my wife. Yeah, I know what you mean, Mike. I'll say that quietly. Okay, so anyway, then neo-Nazi. Okay, that's the same. It starts over. Okay, so anyway, here it is. Here's the article. Following threats of an anti-Semitic National Day of Hate on Saturday from neo-Nazi supporters, which I still haven't found these neo-Nazi supporters, but if they're out there, please tell me. No, by the way, if you are some of these neo-Nazi supporters or whatever out there, here, I got a suggestion. Go fuck yourself. Okay. Following threats of an anti-Semitic National Day of Hate on Saturday from neo-Nazi supporters, messages of condemnation for the event and support of the Jewish community began circulating on social media this week. Now, that's interesting. So there wasn't any, the support for National Day of Hate wasn't out there, but there was plenty of support for the Jewish community, which I commend. I commend you, people who did that, okay? Police across the United States announced that they were taking the threats of anti-Semitism seriously. Now, wait a minute. That anti-Semitism is bad, but taking threats of anti-Semitism seriously, I don't know what charge they would make unless they did something that hurt people or destroyed people's property. Because there's some dumb shits out there, but it's not illegal to be a dumb shit. Okay, but still, anyway, and would be increasing patrols in specific areas like places of religious worship. Okay, now if this was actually going to happen, I understand that they would be on the lookout because all these idiots on Twitter were talking about it, but everyone I saw talking about it was some lefty denouncing it, which is, I don't care that they were denouncing it. I'm still looking for evidence that this was actually going to happen. That's the question I have. Okay. Researchers at the Counter Extremism Project, an international nonprofit policy organization. Wow, an international nonprofit policy organization? They must be huge. They must be huge. And said that the National Socialist Movement, NSM, oh, they have an acronym. I've never heard of that one. Is one of the organizers of the day that has been promoted through social media platforms. Well, I certainly haven't seen it on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, but, whatever. And also the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL, issued a press release on Friday that said it had already seen instances of anti-Semitism across the U.S. in the days leading up to the weekend, calling for a movement of peace to counter the hatred. Now, they put this article. Now, here's a picture. Here's a picture. Members of the National Socialist Movement, NSM, and other white nationalist rally are seen in Newman, Georgia on April 21st, 2018, following threats of an anti-Semitic National Day of Hate on Saturday from neo-Nazi supporters. Messages of condemnation for the event and support for the Jewish community began circulating on social media this week. So they have a picture from 2018 of, now look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's like 10 people in this picture. Now, I wonder if they got everybody in this picture, because usually this is probably everyone that was there. What they do is they'll see 10 idiots out there acting like assholes, and they'll try to make it look like there was thousands of them. But this is all 10 of these people, and I don't even know if they're all there to be there, or some of them are just got caught up in the picture. But there they are. That's the National Socialist Movement, all 10 of them. Now, here's what the ADL said. With white supremacist groups attempting to organize anti-Semitic activities as a part of a so-called National Day of Hate this coming weekend, and especially on Saturday, ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, today called on our community and allies to join together in creating a Shabbat of peace, the ADL says. Well, that is special. That's good. Good. Because if those people are out there, again, they're assholes. Fuck them. So, using the hashtag Shabbat of Peace, no hate, or not hate, ADL is asking supporters and allies to join us in sharing a message of unity against anti-Semitism and hate by sharing their online community that they will not back down and not be intimidated by extremists, the ADL statement concluded. On Twitter, Shabbat of Peace, Not Hate, and National Day of Love have begun to trend. Well, isn't that special? I'm so confident that this was such a real event with thousands and thousands of people. We should absolutely protect our Jewish brothers and sisters from this tidal wave of hate that doesn't seem to have appeared on Saturday. And then Representative Bill Pascrell, a New Jersey Democrat, tweeted Friday, "Anti-Semitism is a cancer. I stand shoulder to shoulder with all our Jewish communities against these disgusting threats from bigots and losers. We must fight back against anti-Semitism wherever and whenever and wherever it rears its ugly head." Well, I agree with you, Bill. I just can't find them. I've looked everywhere. All I've seen is people like you telling us how it should be fought against. Well, that's a good thing. That's good that all you people are telling us it be fought against, but I'm trying to figure out where the assholes are. I want to know who they are. But you're not showing me who they are. They're just showing me your little signaling of the virtue right there. Thank you. Oh, my God. Okay, Adolf donated a small bullet to the tip jar, which is stop it. I'm kind of an anti-Semite, but this glowed worse than the other. Okay. Oh God. Yeah, this is just, it's almost like there were more people promoting this because they wanted to tell you how bad it was, exponentially more than there are actual idiots participating in this bullshit. Okay, so it's just so wild. And then Representative Chantel Brown, an Ohio Democrat, tweeted, "There is no place for hate in America. As white supremacists call for an anti-Semitic day of hate, we must stand together, resolve in solidarity. I join our Jewish community as they celebrate Shabbat of peace, no hate, not hate, to push back against this hate-fueled campaign." I haven't seen the campaign. Nikki Fried, the former Florida Commissioner of Agriculture, who got fired, also tweeted Saturday morning, "As white supremacy groups call for a National Day of Hate this weekend." Okay, I'm not even going to read it. This is the kind of tweets I saw all weekend, but I never saw any evidence that this actually happened. This is just, everyone was talking about something that I don't know if it happened. Brooklyn Dad defiant. Hearing about National Day of Hate planned tomorrow by white supremacists and anti-Semitic rallies just burns my fucking blood. This black Muslim man stands in solidarity with my Jewish brothers and sisters. Thank you, Brooklyn Dad defiant, you clown. It's just, and Bishop Talbert Swan, too. Neo-Nazis have planned a National Day of Hate for today. Oh my God. So anyway, and even Ben Shapiro got in on it. He said, now Ben, Daily Wire host and commenter, Ben Shapiro tweeted on Friday, in honor of tomorrow's white supremacist anti-national day of hate, I welcome all of you to join me in a national day of kiss my ass, you pathetic losers. So, thank you, Ben. But I still have no evidence. So anyway, and I put the hashtag here. Now, Matt Walsh, also for the Daily Wire, said, feeling bad for the feds this morning. They planned a whole national day of hate yesterday, but nobody showed up. Yeah, nobody showed up. Nobody showed up. And then Richard Spencer, who voted for Joe Biden, certainly. Chaya Rachik, she's the gal who started Libs of TikTok. I'm literally a religious Jew, and I've never tweeted. I also never tweeted about the National Day of Hate. Slack also never mentioned the National Day of Hate in their message to us. Hope this absolute garbage tweet of lies was worth the clicks, though. Oh, because someone said, who is this? This David Levitt. Transphobic hate group, Libs of TikTok, have been banned from Slack for promoting the National Day of Hate. Which they haven't. That's a lie. She's a religious Jew, so he completely lied. They were responsible for multiple bomb threats in Boston Children's Hospital. Never confirmed. It's time for Elon Musk to remove them from Twitter. Now, that is a complete lie. Because why would she, a religious Jew, tweet about, promote the National Day of Hate against Jews? I just don't think that happened. It just doesn't sound true. Just sounds like bullshit. So anyway, I will, again, I got to go, but here's the ADL press release from the 24th that they talked about. Also, New Hampshire Department of Safety warns of extremist National Day of Hate Saturday. So everyone bought into this National Day of Hate, and I'm thinking nobody actually showed up. New NYPD, New Jersey Police boost patrols after National Day of Hate social media posts. Where are the posts? The posts are from the ADL and people on Twitter talking about it that are condemning it. That's all I saw. There was none. After online posts indicated there would be forms of protest on Saturday, there were none. At least none that anybody could show me. So if you happen to find some, you can. Chicago police, no National Day of Hate related incidents reported. This is yesterday. No incidents related to the National Day of Hate were reported on Saturday, the Chicago Police Department said. Chicago Police, Illinois State Police, and other police agencies released statements urging people to be vigilant after they saw an increase in domestic violent extremist messaging about the day. No, you did not see that. The only messaging you saw was from people condemning the so-called National Day of Hate. But if you have, look, tomorrow I'm going to talk about this again, and if you have some things, send them to me. Send me by DM, or you can send it to me via locals, or you can send it to me via, what else? Email, pdognight@gmail.com. If you can find actual instances of things happening, let me know. I haven't found any real ones yet. They did have the two jackasses that were yelling at a bullhorn at people, but that was a video from 4 years ago. So anyway, help me out. If you can find it, according to because it was all pushed by the ADL and Twitter accounts saying that this was going to happen. So they created a thing so they could claim they prevented the thing. I'm beginning to think that. That is how I'm feeling about it. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, I got to go. Thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. Please share this stream, even though it's going to be over. You can still share it. Make sure people watch it. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button or whatever you do there and share it. And also, if you're watching a replay, let me tell me what you think happened on the National Day of Hate that would have confirmed the ADLs and Newsweeks and all these jackhole Twitter people about the National Day of Hate. If you have confirmation that something actually happened on the National Day of Hate, please let me know. Also, thank you for joining me. You can sponsor the show at pdognight.live right there, or YouTube Super Chats and other ways down below. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I got to go. My name is P. Dog Night, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P-Dog Night, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Night channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.